wisdom, way you see things, the way you're able to track certain things. Let me pin you here. This is weird. Um,
He's pinned for mine. What did I do wrong?
I don't know. There's the wrong Nick. Let me undo this.
Okay.
There we go. There he is. Um, but man, I remember you the first Zoom call we had, and I was looking at, I'm like, hey, I want to bring somebody out. I'm looking to do some leadership retreats, want to bring you out. You're like, okay, I can come out, but you got to go through my program first. And I showed up, went to your ranch, didn't know anybody there, and I didn't know what to expect. And the amount of value I got was essential. I mean, I invested in my plane ticket, I invested in there, and the amount I've learned that weekend, that was one of the best events I've had. I actually still have my notebook of just pages and pages of notes that I took at that event. So I'm just excited. I want to give it up to you, and I'll let you take over this call and share your words of wisdom with the crew.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the kind intro. Thank you for believing in yourself enough to come out here, not knowing anybody, not having any clue what we actually do here at the ranch. I'm actually at the ranch right now. I'm obviously just using one of my backdrops, so it's not too ugly. It's freezing outside, so usually I'm at the ranch. I give you guys a cool view of the 40-acre lake and all the cool things. It's a very cool spot. Jonah's been here, and I'm hoping some of you guys are interested in coming out someday and just kind of experiencing what Jonah went through. But I am going to play a really quick video because some of you don't know me, and this is actually going to lead to a quick micro lesson before we get into the good stuff. So give me 2 seconds. Do I screen share permission? Sure do. All right.
The program changed everything about me as a man, not only showing up different for myself, my family, but also in my business. And since joining the program, we've consistently 3x our business year over year, starting at $0 in revenue, and we're on pace to hit 40 million this year. You don't want to miss an opportunity to put yourself in this container, surround yourself with these men, and challenge yourself to do things you never thought possible. I wouldn't be who I am without the program.
We're here at the Black Site Ranch. I'm here with my man Dan Fleischman. He just dropped a ton of insane knowledge on us on his entire investment thesis. And then he dropped that highlight.
My name is Kyle Hanneberg. I'm the president of Exclusive Energy and electrical contracting company based out of Corona, California. I was introduced to Nick in 2020. At the time, I was doing $6 million in revenue. Last year, we closed our books at $12 million in revenue, so you can see the results that Nick has brought to my team. Not only to my business, but also to my family.
As I'm Bedros Koulian with the Bedros Koulian Show. I'm here with Nick with the program. And listen, you want to transcend, you want to evolve, you want to speak the truth and finally stop lying. He's the guy you want to work with.
Listen to me. Nick has everything so dialed in, it's unbelievable. He's got frameworks for days. He lives by codes. He has a system for damn near everything, so people can literally get the traction they're looking for, make that impact. Guys like you and me who know we want more, know we deserve more, but can't figure out how to get it.
Stop playing that real quick. All right, real quick. Raise your hand if the word douchebag came to mind anywhere during that presentation. You're not going to offend me. The takeaway from that, there's a couple reasons I play that video. I want you guys to remember these two words because you guys are constantly on the phone with people. And one of the best things you can do and the quickest way you can do it is build authority. There's two reasons anybody on this planet Earth would ever transact with you, would buy a policy from you, would keep that policy, would buy more policies from you, right, as you guys start to advance into selling different verticals once you've built that know, like, and trust factor. The only two words you need to know in this micro lesson before we get started is authority and empathy. Do I believe this person on the other end of the Zoom or the phone call or face-to-face, do I believe that they actually have the authority to get me from A to B? Right? To write the proper policy, to save me some money, to actually understand this game called insurance well enough to educate me to make a buying decision that I feel comfortable with. What authority does this person have? So one of my questions to you throughout the next 3 or 4 weeks as we hang out is, what can I do to establish authority early on? You're not going to play a douchey video like that every time. Like, that's my We use that for webinars when I got 40 people on that want to learn how to grow their business. We use that. I've got another version of that when I speak at events as a walkout reel. I personally hate it. I think I come from the school where you should never talk about yourself. Other people should be telling your story. But over the years, I've been told, and it's been proven, that it's pretty mandatory to have some sort of authority for people to even listen to you. So as I looked on this call, I recognized about 7 or 8 of you and there might be more on, Jonah, I'm not sure, that came out to Idaho. But because I didn't recognize most of you, I'm like, all right, let's just play this video so they know a little bit about who I am and what I do for a living. And if I have the authority, then maybe I have a little bit more of your attention over the next hour. But you need to be able to establish that. So here's another real quick, and I'm going to say this. Someone please type it in the chat. Let me get a show of hands, or how about this? Put the number 1 in the chat, because there's so many of you, I can't see you all. If you own your personal domain. I own nickalfano.com. Put a 1 in the chat if you own yourname.com or a version thereof. We got one. Okay, we got a few. Okay, if you did not put a 1, please, after this call, so you're present, go on and do a domain name lookup, right? Whether you use GoDaddy or whatever. Figure out if your name is available and buy it now. Someone chime in why on earth that's important and why all these number 1s have figured out something that maybe some of you haven't heard before. Somebody who put a number 1, tell me why that's important. You could come off mute. I can't see all of you because I'm on some sort of pinned.
Because your personal brand is everything.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say you could briancox.com,
Yep.
It looks more professional.
You own briancox.com?
No, I had a garage door business. It was Cox Overhead Door, but there's already too many popular Brian Coxes in this world.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not
figure
one
out
of
what
them.
else you can buy, though, because I was going to be like, holy crap, because Brian Cox is a common name, so it's harder to grab that domain. Some of you guys going to be hard. Some of you guys have a unique enough name, you could buy your .com right now. And you should. It's like $13 a year to own your domain. And then the next step is, let me get a hand raised real quick, and this is not the purpose of this call, but I'm just going to give you guys some quick hacks. Raise your hand if you've gone down the rabbit hole and you're kind of into vibe coding now. Who even knows what vibe coding? Anybody get a hand raised here? Damn, Jonah, you got these guys so busy they don't know what vibe coding is. Okay, I can show you how to build your personal website with all your pictures and all your links and all your Zooms and all your authority building and everything in less than 20 minutes. Because AI writes code now. So that will be maybe a bonus call, Jonah. If these guys are really interested in it, we could get everyone to own their own domain and build. And by the way, when I say build, this is some Mickey Mouse shit. Like, no offense to GHL, but their website builders dog shit. This is, go find the baddest personal page you can find on the internet, and I'll go rip the code out of it, and then we'll copy and paste it into AI, and it'll build. If you like Brad Lee's site, if you saw him on my video, if you like, find someone that you just think their site is fucking amazing, and if you own that site, that would be a game changer for you in terms of building authority or just your personal brand. And then go find that site, and I'll show you how to build that thing in less than 20, 30 minutes while you go make a sandwich. That's the world we live in. So the reason that's crucial, and if you saw the last guy on my video, I'm really good friends with Brad Lee, and one of the most powerful things he told me 2.5 years ago was 2 years from now is going to be 2 years from now. True or not true? Just a head nod of word. Cool, right? The question is, where will your personal brand be? I know you guys are all selling insurance, and I know you're out to make bank, bro, right? I get it. But at some point, you might not be doing this. Yeah. Or you're going to be doing it at a scale that requires that you have built a personal brand. How many of you guys would like to recruit 10 people into your downline tomorrow and be making money off all of them? And more importantly, develop the leadership skills to help a bunch of other people and change their lives, etc. If you have a personal brand, you could do one swipe up on a story and you could get 10 people right now. True or not true? If you had 3 million followers on Instagram right now and you were the insurance savage as part of your brand, you could get a downline built overnight and not only make 10x more money, but help 10x more people buy their first car, their first apartment or house, their first, right? They can learn how to manage money. They can invest in the S&P. They can invest in crypto because your stewardship. So the reason I say 2 years from now is 2 years from now is Brad Lee took 8 years to build his first 8-figure company. It's called Lightspeed. It's kind of archaic now. We kind of talk shit about it, but Grant Cardone's still on Lightspeed. Alex Hormozi was on Lightspeed till he did the acquisition of School. While building his first 8-figure company, he built his personal brand. He now has 6 8-figure companies. And the only difference is this is the same as The Rock getting a shitty tequila company. The Rock's tequila is not good, ladies and gentlemen. It's just got The Rock's face on it, so it sells a ton. So now Brad's got real insurance, real merchant services. What else does he have? He's got like 6 or 7 things with the word real on it because he's the real Bradley. And I know I'm beating that name up a lot, and maybe some of you don't know him, but go look him up. 1 million downloads a month on his podcast, or per podcast episode. 6 or 7 companies doing 8 figures, multiple houses and Ferraris and all the things, right? But he harps on, you can build this business, you can build this life insurance thing, but build your personal brand at the same time. So rule number 1, start building your brand, go buy your domain. If you want to do a whole separate call, Jonah, this is 100% a promise above and beyond these 3 next calls. If you guys want to learn how to vibe code and how to smash everything, my only caveat is it's a bit of a rabbit hole because it's pretty addicting to be able to pull an idea out of your head and make it real in minutes. So I don't want to mess up Jonah's productivity and get you guys vibe coding and not selling. So we'll have to discuss with Jonah if that makes sense. But there's some ways to get some really quick wins with using AI properly. You saw in the video, I run this thing called the program. I'm not trying to sell you shit. I'm not here to talk about the program. What I'm here to talk about is what I do, how I do it, and show you guys pretty much almost everything I showed Jonah in 2.5 days live. I'm going to show you in the next 45 minutes. And then I'm going to give you a cool ass tool to actually go home and use. Sounds good? Sounds good. Thumbs up. All right. I told you 2 words, authority and empathy. Who here knows how to explain empathy? So authority, can this person get me from letter A to letter B? Can they solve my problem? If I believe that, I'll hear them out. Empathy, does this person genuinely give a shit that I get from A to B? So think about how you can create that during your conversations, your scripts, your prezos. How do you ask the right questions to Mr. and Miss Jones where they feel like you genuinely care that they're in the right vehicle, the right policy, saving them some money, educating them, whatever that looks like. When you can establish authority early and then hit the empathy card multiple times in a transaction, you will increase your closing percentage dramatically. And most important, you'll decrease your churn or your chargeback ratio. Authority and empathy. The only reason Jonah would give me money is he believes I can get him from A to B, and then that I genuinely give a shit if he gets from A to B. Micro lesson. Done. Cool. Sharing my screen. We're flying. Questions on that? Questions, comments, concerns before I fly, because we are going to fly. Flying. I'm flying. I'm going to go back to gallery view so I can see as many of you as possible while seeing my prezo. Cool. All right. So funny, quick backstory. And I know some of you have met me before, so you've heard this story. Like I see Felix on the call. I see Jake on the call. I know I saw Chicken Nugget on the call. You're forever going to be that to me, Turner. I'm sorry. That's just how it's going to be. I see Michael on the call. Some of you know this story, but oddly enough, when Jonah came out to my ranch and I didn't even know what his business was called and what we were going to get into, the entire weekend was based on this principle right here, this framework that I'm going to show you in the next 45 minutes or so, 40 minutes. John, it's cool to go over 5-6 minutes if we have to, right? All right, cool. So we'll call it 45 minutes. This is literally the framework that I have helped multiple people make multiple, and I'll say the word millions, but this is how I scale companies. This is how I scale human beings. And make no mistake, every single person on this call, even if you don't have a downline built yet, you own a company now. Like you are literally building a mini version of what Jonah has built. When you get a downline, you'll be another level up building what Jonah has built. But you're essentially running, and when you start treating it like your own little business, a lot of things change the way they show up. So this is how I've scaled multiple companies. This is the framework I taught Jonah over 2.5 days, and then we did a version of it out in Idaho with some other folks. And I'm going to get you in the weeds on this and give you some cool stuff. So it's a complete coincidence, if you want to call it that. I call it a godcidence. This is how Jonah and I met on this one word right here. So these are the 4 areas we're going to cover. What we're really going to get into is the last section called reprogram, because I'm going to show you guys what I think is the most important thing you can do to change the game that only the 1% have figured out. So another quick little piece of information. I've spent over $500,000 on personal development. That's how I get in front of guys like Brad and Bedros and Dan Fleischman and Gary. I got, Gary V, cool shout out from him the other day. Like, I have done a lot of work on myself, and what I've learned from all these 1%ers is they're just playing a different game than us. And over the years of either paying for them to coach me and then now speaking on stages with them, I have learned that their game can be simplified into these 4 sections right here. So we're going to go through them, and then we're going to spend some time on reprogramming because that's the one that gets everyone stuck and people don't know enough about. And then I'm going to give you a tool to start reprogramming real time when you get off this call. So it's obviously a bit of an acronym. We'll get into the PRO, but if you look at the end of the word prosper, scan, plan, expand, reprogram. This is the game for the rest of your life, no matter what you do. This was the game when you were born. This is the game if you were trying to be an all-star athlete. This is the game if you're trying to, get abs, bro, or lift heavy weight. I don't care what your targets are. Buy a cool car. Like, this is the game you have to play. Step 1 is scan. Where am I now? Where do I want to be? So I want you guys to take a second to think about this. Last time I spoke, a couple of times ago before I spoke, there was about 14, maybe 1,200 people in this audience, right? We'll use the number 1,000 because it's easier. Imagine 1,000 people in the room, and I ask them this question. When is the last time that you took inventory on yourself? Your skill sets, your mindset, your physical being, your connection to God. Like, when is the last time you actually audited how you're showing up for the rest of this world, but most importantly, how you're showing up for you? Like, how are you showing up every day when you step into Prosper to write new deals, et cetera, et cetera? So you have to get brutally honest and hold up a mirror and figure out, where am I today? And when I ask 1,000 dudes this, and by the way, ladies, I'm going to caveat a little late in the call, but I work with male entrepreneurs, typically married with kids. So you might see some stuff about wives and kids in this too, but I work with men. I beat men up for a living, physically, mentally, all the things. So I might say things that seem very male focused, but I promise all of these tools apply to everybody on this call. But I got 1,000 dudes in a room. I say, hey, show of hands. When's the last time you did an inventory on yourself? Ego will have a lot of hands go up. Great. Then the next question is letter B. When's the last time you set? We're just going to play the 90-day game because the purpose of these calls over the next 3 weeks, guys, raise your hands if you have clear targets for Q1 in 2026. Here's the real question. I got 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands. I can't see everybody. The game is played in 90-day sprints. You can go out 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. I'm sure you hear that, vision boards, all the things. That's cool, but we got to reverse engineer it, and we go on these 90-day sprints where we literally get more done in 90 days than most people get done in 9 years because most people aren't playing this game. So where am I now? Where do I want to be? When you guys look at letter B as we do this call, I want you to think about April Fool's Day or March 31st. Yeah, 31st, end of Q1. So just visualize for a second. It's March 31st, 2026. And these are the 4 categories of life. We won't get too deep into these, but you need to remember them. Faith, family, fitness, and finance. So if you just think for a minute, where am I in my faith? March 31st, 2026. Where am I in my fitness? What does my body look like? How healthy am I? What am I lifting? How fast am I running? Am I exhausted all the time? How's my sleep, right? How am I in my fitness? Where am I in my family? And I know a lot of you guys don't have husbands, wives, and kids yet, but where are you at with your moms, dads, sisters, brothers, and most importantly, friends of the family that we choose? So where am I at with my friends? Am I showing up for them? Am I transactional or relational? Do I just lean in and help people when it's moving day and my homie knows I have a truck and he wants me to help him move? Do I come up with some shit excuse? Or do I genuinely show up for everybody in this world and just help them with no expectation of reciprocation, meaning no covert contract? Well, I helped you move, so someday you're going to have to do me a solid. No, that's not showing up. So ask yourself, March 31st, how are my relationships with my family and my friends? And then, of course, the reason most of you are here, and I get that, but we put it last for a reason, March 31st, 2026, how are my finances? What does my bank account look like? How many deals am I writing every week or every day? Or what am I spending on ads or on leads, I should say? Have I learned anything new? Am I better? Am my closing percentage better? Like, what's my financial game look like? Do I have additional funds because I've been managing it correctly? We have 2 categories in there called make and manage. What am I making and am I managing it correctly? One of the scariest things that you guys will face, especially if those of you who are new, is understanding the leads game, understanding how you can build a machine that when you understand your closing percentage and how to be consistent and increase it, every time you put a quarter in that machine, you pull a dollar out. If I gave you a machine right now that says every time you put a quarter in, you got a dollar out, raise your hands if you would put as many quarters in that thing as possible. Okay, but you got to pay for the quarter, right? You got to pay the 25 cents. But that's all you're building. You're building a machine that is your ability to close, that spits out X amount of revenue in the form of X amount of deals paid. And then you have to decide how much input has to go in to see that output. And there's various forms of input. Some don't cost money. Some is 300 dials a day. That's a cool input. Some is getting good at playing the leads game, believing in myself enough to spend a quarter to spit out $1. Because when I get that game down, it's infinite scale. That's when you're qualified to go ape shit and build a downline, because you've built something that you believe in and you can teach others how to believe in. So letter A, letter B. Next one is plan. Raise your hand for those of you that said you have you've done a bit of work on self, or you have an idea of what you want to do next quarter. Raise your hand if you have an actual plan on how to get there. So if you know what your finances are going to look like at the end of Q1, do you have a reverse engineered granular plan all the way back to tomorrow on what needs to get done before your head hits the pillow? Let me hear from somebody why that is important. I know it sounds redundant almost, but let me get a little audio here.
If you're not hitting your short-term goals, you're not going to hit the long-term goals.
Yeah.
So you got to plan, make it happen.
All right, Brian Cox is going to run the show. You guys keep letting him. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the participation. Everybody here wants to do better in some form: faith, family, fitness, or finance, or maybe all of them. True or not true? I want to be in a little better shape. I want to make a little more money. I want to be more connected, right? And faith, by the way, for me has two meanings. It's your faith in God, and it's your faith in yourself, your belief in yourself. You know what I mean? Which we're going to work on today. So everyone wants better, but then when I say, well, what does better look like? Most people can't clarify that. They don't have a clear letter B. Okay, well, the likelihood of achieving something that you're not clear on is next to none. That's a fact. And I'm not here to beat you up. I'm just here to make you aware. The next step is when you know your B, cool, how you going to get there, Chief? So I got 1,000 dudes in a room. Their ego says, Nick, I know where I'm at and I know where I want to go. I'm a savage, Nick. I'm like, cool. Show me the plan. Show me the roadmap. And I'm not trying to offend you. I'm trying to make you aware that you're full of shit, because 99% of people are full of shit. And not that they don't want it any more than the guy next to them. They just aren't executing at the level required to build the life that they say that they want. And if they keep showing up that way, the scariest part about belief in self is it goes down, down, down. Why is the guy next to me making more money? I'm doing the same shit he is. I'm doing the same amount of dials. I'm putting in the same hours. Why does he have that car and I don't? There must be something wrong with me. This is how we internalize. This is called the self-sabotaging loop. We call it the Pygmalion effect in the world of neuroscience, which is where I live. And when you start to go down this road of I'm not the man, I'm not good enough, I'm not $1 million earner, and you start to tell yourself that enough, you start to believe it at a core level, at a subconscious level. And once it's rooted in your subconscious, it's almost impossible to change that narrative. That's the scary, slippery slope. So step one, where am I? Where do I want to go? I know where I want to go, Nick. I'm crystal clear. Let's reverse engineer a plan. Raise your hands if you think you have a tool that you can access that will help you reverse engineer a plan all the way down to what needs to happen today before your head hits the pillow. Come on, guys. You guys are younger than me. This would be a no-brainer. What tool can we all leverage right now to give us a plan? These guys.
AI. Yeah, GPT.
There it is. AI, Chat GPT, Claude. I don't care what version you want to use. Someone said time blocking. I love you for that, by the way. We're going to get into that on the next call. I'm going to show you guys how to increase productivity 300%. That's next call. And it's going to blow your mind. And you're going to walk away with a bunch of cool hacks. Literally, AI has only improved my game. And I'm going to explain that the right way. AI is exposing the fact that even though everybody on this call either knows what to do or can easily access what to do, you're still not doing it. Like, we can all sit here. Back in the day, you used to say, well, in order to go from zero to $1 million in my bank account, I'm not really sure all the steps to get there. So I'll hire Nick or I'll hire a coach. Now, this is going to hurt my brand, but no, it won't. Chat GPT can give you a better plan that I could ever get you than you could ever pay me for. True or not true? But no one's leveraging it. And then here's the next step, right? This is where I lose most of the room. Let's say we got someone that knows where they want to go and they have a detailed plan. Are you taking action? So let's say ChatGPT tells you exactly how to close at 47% with an average transaction value of 1,800, which pays you X. If you make this many dials, this is what you have to do. It's a no-brainer. Here's what you need to work on. Here's a rebuttal Rolodex. Here's how to fix this. Everything's done for you. And the math always maths. When you build out your plan, you get a little bit of a boner. Sorry, ladies, I talk like this. You get excited because the math on paper, the math always maths. It's like, holy shit, these are just the numbers. If I do the numbers, this is how I grow. And when I grow my bank account, I can finally get the things that I say that I want or build the life that I say. Cool, it's all here, Nick. But now we got to get to work. And this is where the game is played between expand and reprogram. So let's say you figure out what you want by the end of Q1 2026. You go through a series of whatever version of AI, or you could sit down with each other. I can show you a million ways to create. Who here knows what a smart target is? I know the guys at the retreat know, and I know my leaders know. Chase, try to break it down, and I won't hold you to it because some people mix up a couple of the letters. What does smart target mean?
The S, smart is specific. M is measurable.
Yep.
A is achievable, so not unrealistic. It has to be achievable to you.
Boom.
R, right?
This is the one everyone mixes up, so give me what you think it is. I'll tell you just for time. It's relevant. Yeah, so some people say realistic, but then achievable and realistic are the same, so I always have to smack them. It's relevant. Like if it's not relevant to you, why? This is your why. Why do you want that target? Because if your why is not strong enough, you won't hit the target anyway. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and
T is time, right? Got to put a time frame on it.
You have to put a deadline on it. Targets are just dreams, right, with deadlines. Targets are dreams with deadlines. So a smart target, you set a specific target. We live in numbers. So you set a dollar amount, a closing percentage, money you want to see in your savings, whatever it is. We'll stay in the world of finance for this call, but you get specific. Is it measurable? Of course, it's a number, super measurable. Is it achievable? Well, you probably can't make $1 million in 90 days unless you're already doing some big shit. So don't set some weirdo number because you'll just shut down right from the offset. Is it relevant? Why do you want to make that much money? What is that going to do for your life? And then, of course, time bound, we just gave you the date, March 31st, 2026. So we go out, and that's part of plan. I'm already moved on to expand. But once we've set smart targets, now you got to get to work. Show of hands, someone give me one way that you might mess up the expand phase of this whole entire framework. I know my targets. They're smart. I got it mapped out, reverse engineered. I'm very clear on what I need to do, Nick. What is one way I could shit the bed?
Not doing them.
Okay, why would you not do it? Good.
Getting lazy.
Okay, lazy could be one. Someone give me another one. He's spot on. By Chase, you came off mute too. Give me one.
As you say, you got no one to hold you accountable. You haven't told anyone.
Accountability. I'll have to send you guys that on a one-pager, but there's a Harvard study that breaks down how accountability will increase the likelihood of success up to 90% if done correctly. But most people are scared to be held accountable because they feel attacked, because they really don't want it, because, right, there's a lot of reasons people run from accountability. Most people that pay me, they pay me for accountability. It's easy to make a plan and then go hide and tell yourself all the reasons you don't need to execute that plan. If you're on this call, you had the gift of gab or you wouldn't have made it this far with Jonah. If you have to give the gab, you know who you close more than anybody? Who do you close more than anybody on planet Earth?
Yourself.
Yeah. On why you don't need to do that shit. It's all good, brother. You earned it. Eat the cheat meal. It's all good, man. Going a little late today. You crushed yesterday. Oh, man, do we really want this? Like, Jonas McLaren is cool and all, but I'm cool with my Honda. Even if you don't like nice shit, at least put yourself in a position to buy nice shit, then decide what you want to do with all that money. Go help people. But to say you don't want to make more money might be another part of your program that sabotages you. Money's the root of all evil. I've made a lot of millions, and I don't give a shit about money anymore. Every dollar I make goes to hosting events at this ranch to change lives. And I know that sounds a little, I'm on a soapbox, look at me, I'm cool. But I'm just telling you right now, you need money to win. Money is leverage. You don't have to always go buy shit and keep up with the Joneses, but you need money to scale. You need money for leads. You need money to develop talent. You need money to have the option to help people. It is leverage. So if you have a story around money, get rid of it. So we start expanding. This is where the work is done right here. These are the areas that you have to expand in to win. And we don't have a whole lot of time to dissect each one because I want to show you how to reprogram, because this is the game. So you have to expand your power. Another word for power is capacity. I just like to use alliteration because, again, in the world of neuroscience, if I use the same letter, it makes it sticky. You'll remember it more. So the areas that you will need to expand in, make no mistake, if you want to actually grow in your faith, family, fitness, and finance, you need to expand your power or your capacity. Your ability to handle big shit, your ability to juggle a lot of things. Life is always going to show up and kick you in the face. Can you still close the deals? Can you do it when you're sick? Can you do it when you don't want to? Can you do it when you just got told to F off on the last 4 calls? Can you get on the next? What is your capacity to handle stress in your environment and still show up consistent? You need to expand your perspective. What's possible for me? Most people don't win because they have embedded into their program a series, not just one, a series of limiting beliefs. And the scariest thing, which we're going to get to in a second, is most of you don't know what your limiting beliefs are. And they're showing up every day across multiple different areas of your life. And when you learn how to play this game, and the reason I love that there's so many people on this call, and my man Chase said accountability, is you can recognize somebody else's limited beliefs in them quickly. You see them all the time. The way they talk to themselves, the energy they carry, you know, whether someone said lazy, something, there could be procrastination, there could be lack of consistency. There's a lot of stories that are going on in that person that you can identify like that. But it's very, very difficult to recognize your own program and your own beliefs that are stopping you from winning. You need to expand your productivity, your production. We're going to talk about that next week. Please show up for that one because I'm going to give you a lot of cool hacks on how I can outwork all of you. I can do more in a week than you do in a month, even if you work 12, 15-hour days, bro. Good luck. And I'm going to show you how we play that game. So that productivity is going to be the next call. And then purpose, we're not going to get into too much today because I want to show you reprogramming. But again, think of the word why. Like, why am I doing all of this? And that is the hardest thing in the world for any grown man or woman to answer is, what the heck am I doing here? But when you figure it out, you change how you show up. And then everything becomes easy. Is what, you know what I mean? So like when you fly out of bed, and by the way, there's purpose in what you're doing, even if you don't see it yet. But when you can see it, you can find it in everything, and that allows you to show up with a completely different energy. But that's a call for another day. All right. Scan. Where am I at? Where do I want to go? Plan, reverse engineer it using smart targets only, or you wasted my time. Be specific, right? Expand. Please get to work. Please don't just say cute shit, put it on a vision board, get a boner, create a map, get another boner, and then not get up tomorrow and execute. The difference between everybody out there that's winning and not winning is the guy that's willing to execute even when it doesn't make sense that day. To stay in that pocket long enough when he's not quite closing right. Course correct, course correct, course correct, show up, show up, show up, course correct, get better, show up. And not quit. Just keep expanding. Expand your capacity, expand your productivity, expand your perspective. But the biggest one, and this is literally like why I got into this world. When I started my little personal development journey, it'll be 6 years, actually on December 12th, so we're coming up on it. 7 years. 12/12/2018, I started my journey. I didn't believe in all this woo-woo shit. Like if you would have told me 7 years ago I would meditate and journal every day, I'd probably punch you in the teeth. That's some weird hippie shit. Like if you don't know me, I'm like tattooed everywhere, 240 pounds. Like I just don't look like the guy that would do this shit and float around. It's not for me. What worked for me, and the reason I work with men is I started noticing this is how the male brain works. I need to understand the science behind this. Like if you tell me to go and meditate, I need to understand what's happening in my brain if you want me to get up every day and keep doing it, or I won't fucking do it. You can't just tell me like, oh, don't worry, the woo-woo shit'll work one day. I don't buy that shit. So I got really obsessed with the science and the biology of belief. I call it the science of success. And so the last 7 years, I've been 5 years. I studied it for a while, then I've been teaching it for 5 now. I've been showing people how to actually reprogram at a cellular level to win. Like the tool I'm about to give you right now, if you do it, and it's just 20 minutes a day, and I'm not asking you to run a mile or bench press 300 pounds or do weird shit. I'm asking you to sit the F down for 20 minutes. If you use this tool that I'm about to give you, I can actually promise you, record this call is being recorded, your life will look entirely different on March 31st, 2026. And here's the kicker that might scare some of you away. You won't actually be able to explain why things are happening for you. Is anybody in here a Joe Dispenza fan, Bruce Lipton, Andrew Huberman, probably some of you know, like, is anybody a neuroscience, quantum physics, anything guy here? Like, that is my world, and I can prove to you at a fucking cellular level, and yes, I'm cussing because I get really passionate about this. I can prove to you how to change your subconscious program to actually work for you and stop sabotaging. But like anything, the work only works if you do the work. You guys tracking so far? Cool. All right. These are the only brain waves that you can ever exist in. Right now, as we sit on this call, take a look at the second one. Everybody is in beta. I know that for an absolute fact. You are in beta with a B right now. And the key to everything is theta with a T, which we're going to get into. Essentially, you only hit delta when you're in REM sleep. We don't have to go too far into that one. You hit theta twice a day for a brief moment, right when you wake up in the morning, right when you drift off to sleep. We're going to get into why that is the key to everything. And then I'm going to give you a tool that helps you get there. Alpha is your creativity. Has anybody heard of binaural beats or solfeggio frequencies? Okay, some of you that were at the retreat definitely heard of these. By the way, Isaac, I see him raise his hand. This guy can answer every single thing that comes out of my mouth before I finish it. This guy is fucking quick. I'm just going to keep putting it out there. Every time I have a meeting with Isaac, I don't even get to finish my sentence, and he has not only the answer, but he can usually finish my sentence. So we must have a similar brainwave pattern, but that guy's extremely intelligent. Whoever's on his team or near that guy, like, I'm very impressed by that dude. So beta is where we're all at right now. It's tech, yeah, hit the hearts, Felix. Make it fucking creepy. I'm all good with it, dude. I turn those off because I hate those when people do those moves on my call, or when it happens for me on my call, but I appreciate you doing it and making it really weird. Beta is fight or flight. Beta is figure it out, just get by, survival, get to the next paycheck, month to month type shit. And unfortunately, that's where everyone on this call is living, myself included, right now. That is your default state. Gamma, we won't talk about unless you guys have been in extreme sports, like you're an X Games athlete, or you've been through some really, really hardcore. If there's former military guys on here, you've seen gamma. Unfortunately, this is where PTSD comes from. And if you've been in a really bad car accident and time like really, really like was so slow you could see all the glass shattering and moving, you were in gamma for a small part of your life. So gamma is not relevant to this conversation. I want to talk to you a little bit about theta, but I want to show you why this is running your whole life real quick. This is probably the most important section of this entire call. And I know you're tired. It's 4 something on your side of the world, 3:45, but please lock in. Your entire program that is running your life, that is determining how you're receiving my loud Italian mouth right now, and whether you're paying attention or whether you're writing gross or not writing gross, whether you're showing up, whether you're consistent, all of your programming that runs your life was written from age 0 to 7. Raise your hand if you had control over your environment from age 0 to 7. So who had control? Who was an influence on you from 0 to 7? Parents, right? Some of you maybe started religion at a young age if that was big in your house. So you've got church coming in before 7 for sure. Some of you crazy athletes, like my kids, I pushed them all into sports when they were 4 and 5. So now you got coaches influencing their programming. You got school, right? Pre-K is now 4. So you got 4, 5, 6, 7. You got all the way to 2nd grade. So you have teachers influencing your program. 0 to 7, your brain was in theta. In theta, write this number down to remember it, you download information at 337% the rate that you're downloading information now as you sit on this call. This is why a child from 0 to 7 can learn 2 foreign languages and 2 classical instruments before you and I could finish a fucking book right now. We don't have that brain state anymore, so we can't absorb data. This is how they learn all the things they learn that quickly. When you guys, those of you guys that are creeping up on having kids or about to have kids, remember these years because you can do a lot of damage or you can do a lot of good in 0 to 7. Because the scariest thing about 0 to 7, you ready for this? Not only do you not have control, but your prefrontal cortex, your PFC, which makes up your conscious mind, which is your filter, it hasn't been formed yet. Biologically, at a cellular level, you have no filter. So whatever mom says gets in. Whatever dad says gets in. And that could be a limited belief around scarcity. It could be, don't take a commission-only job. Are you fucking nuts? Go do blue collar. Learn how to be a pipe welder. You're crazy. It could be clip coupons. It could be You support red, not blue, whatever it is. All of these things were happening. And for the most part, our parents didn't know what they didn't know. So no one was like putting shitty programs in us. But this is the generational curse because what they believe and the things that they said around you, whether they said them directly to you, again, religion, coaches, teachers, that one crazy uncle, like that shit got into your program and it started forming at a cellular level current beliefs that you still hold on to right now. From 7 to 14, you slide into alpha. Well, the reason it's every 7 years, you can write this down and remember it, is every 7 years, your body produces a brand new set of cells. I'm 44, so we'll call it 42 as 6 copies. So as I sit on this call, I've had 6 copy and pastes of a program that I didn't write. Which means even at 44 years old, there's still versions of 7-year-old Nick that are showing up and stopping me from winning. Because my dad said I didn't get the Snickers when we were at the store because he was pressed for time and pissed off about not being able to make payroll. But what I heard was I'm not worthy to get a candy bar that day. So I might have a self-worth issue because my dad didn't let me get the candy when he said that I can have it because he was having a bad day. And that version of lack of self-worth will manifest at 44 years old if I don't recognize that I have it and start to change that belief himself. It could be that small, guys. And I want to make this clear. I have to always caveat with this. I'm not creating professional victims. You don't get to leave this call and say, my fucking parents, and they told me I couldn't have the toy, and so that's why I can't close at 62% because I'm not worthy. Fuck you. What I'm trying to do is make you hyper aware so I can empower you because what I'm going to give you is the keys to reprogramming this game. So 7 to 14, new set of cells. Now the PFC is starting to be formed. Now I have a filter. I want you to think about middle school and sliding into high school. What happens? What happens is a lot of identity crises happen. We start to figure out who do we want to click up with. I'm still highly impressionable. I still absorb data. By the way, it's a little over 200%, so it's not quite as awesome as theta. It's not as fast, but more importantly, you have a filter of what gets in now. That's the biggest distinguisher in 7 to 14. Am I a goth? Am I a band nerd? Am I a jock? Who do I want to roll with? Who the hell am I? How do I want to dress? How do I want to carry myself? Right? Junior high was big for that. A couple of years in high school was big for that. 0 to 14, they call these the formative years for a reason. 95% of who you are right now in this call was designed from 0 to 14. And then from 14 on, every 7 years, you're copying, pasting a program, and you're staying in beta. It is very, 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 very difficult to actually change who you are at your core and who is likely necessary to build the life that you say that you want once you hit 14 years old. Raise your hand if that sounds a little shitty. Like, that's a little shitty. From 14 on, this is kind of who I am, Chief. This is kind of how I talk. This is how hard I'm willing to work. This is how much I believe I'm worth $10 million a year or $10,000 a year. I have a financial thermostat that was programmed in me, and that's just what it is. And I can scream all I want, and I can write it down, and I can go to the seminar, and I can write the notes down, and I can watch the videos, and I can hang out with the guys that are doing big money. But if I don't believe at my core that I'm worthy of that or capable of that, or it's even something I really want, I'll never achieve it. Another big set of numbers to write down. The game is 95% subconscious, 5% conscious. Please look all this up. Like, I'm very aware of another concept called cognitive dissonance, which is a neuroscience principle that says, if something seems weird, I'm going to turn off and stop listening to you, Nick. It doesn't sound believable. Please look it up. 95% of your life is ran on autopilot. Your prefrontal cortex, which is your conscious brain, only makes up 5% of your brain. So when you read a book at a conscious level and it doesn't get all the way into your subconscious, you're not going to retain the information in a way that serves you. This is why 1,000 guys come to my seminars and probably 2 of them go home and actually execute. But when they're all there, they can run through a brick wall. They're all excited. They wrote down the cool notes. They can't wait to do it. They built the map. Oh, man, you wait, Nick. Talk to me in a year, Nick. Everything's going to be different. No, well, what you should be hearing right now, by the way, and I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm trying to make you aware, is most of you are going to get off this call and not execute because your program is going to get in the way. And you won't recognize it. That's the scariest part. So 0 to 7 theta, 7 to 14 alpha, 14 beta. How do we reprogram? Raise your hands if you know who Thomas Edison is. Ever heard the name Thomas Edison? Cool. 1,093 US patents, including 45 that were used specifically for the military. The military are the best programmers on the planet Earth, the United States military. The difference between me and the US military, even though I use their tactics, is I'm not trying to write a program and build a super soldier. I'm not trying to write a program for you. I'm going to show you how to write your own program. But make no mistake, 90% of what I teach has been going on. We have SEALs and Green Berets. So it's been going on at a very high level in the military for years. They spend more money on neural intelligence than they do actual weapons. Because if they can build super soldiers that will run into the line of fire and do whatever they need them to do, they win. Obviously, there's a big shift to AI, so we'll see how long that happens. But the point I'm trying to make is Thomas Edison figured out how to access data on demand, which is why he was able to invent 1,093 different things in this country, including 45 really, really high level military. I want to say the word inventions. This sounds kind of corny, but essentially inventions. Theta is everything. There's only two ways to program. Reps. Anybody heard of the 10,000 hour rule? 10,000 hours is how long it takes to learn something so well that you no longer, it's automatic. It's now a habit. Like there's some certain things can be done in less. For example, how many of you guys can drive stick shift? Fucking young bucks in here. Like a gated stick, not a sequential, all right, not a paddle shift. So like a gated stick, once you learn that, you don't have to think about working the clutch anymore, left foot down, feather it, throttle, right? You don't have to learn that anymore. That can be done in a shorter amount of time because the stakes are higher because you're out there driving a 4,000-pound piece of metal and you can hurt yourself or others. So there are ways to bring this curve down, but the reality is there's only two ways you can actually change the 95% that's running the show. Massive reps. There's a concept out there. If you want to do this the shitty short way, go ahead. It's called Project 369, where you create affirmations specific to your targets and you read them 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night. They're basing their entire transformation on this concept of reps on reps on reps on reps on reps. And by the way, please still do the reps, but I'm about to give you the coolest shortcut ever on the planet Earth. Accessing theta, remember, allows you to absorb data 337%. And most importantly, you bypass the prefrontal cortex and you're putting this data into your subconscious mind. 95%. When you can get your subconscious beliefs, your core beliefs that were written for you, not by you, when you can get those to line up with all the things you want at a conscious level and build what we call the superconscious, you start winning. So if you remember earlier in this conversation, I said, look, what's going to happen is some of you are going to do the work, some of you aren't. The ones that do the work, I'm going to come visit you in 90 days, I'm sure. Joan and I are still attached. We're doing shit. Like some of you, this happens every time. You're going to come up to me and you're going to tell me about some crazy wins, but you won't really know how it happened. Whether it's an opportunity that happened, a conversation that happened, you became a better closer and you weren't really, going ape shit with learning new scripts or role playing. You just got better. I'm going to explain this in an easy way for the sake of this call. We say God in my container, and I know Jonah does too, but I'm just going to use the word the universe for the sake of this conversation. There are opportunities everywhere that support your destination. Your destination meaning all the things you want, your hopes, your wishes, dreams, desires, vision board, all the things that you say that you want at a conscious level at the prefrontal cortex. There are infinite possibilities and opportunities out there that want you to get to Destination Island. The only thing stopping you is you. And at a subconscious level, it will find a way to self-sabotage, but most importantly, allow you to not recognize almost all of those opportunities until it starts to communicate correctly with what you say you want. So when you, at a subconscious level, start to really believe all the things that you say that you want, shit starts to happen for you. This is a fact. And it's different for everybody. And it's really dependent on whether or not you choose to do this next piece I'm going to give you. So here's the shortcut. Careful with these because there's a lot of fakes on YouTube and a lot of people, if you're going to download an app for this, and you don't have to because I'm going to give you an entire process that's all automated and it's just going to do it for you. But if some people like to go down a rabbit hole and learn more about this, the only app I would recommend is called Moongate. I don't have a plug or anything with them. I don't even know if it costs money. They have legit binaural beats and solfeggios. The problem with YouTube is everyone sees something working, they go and they copy and paste it, and half of it's dog shit. A binaural beat, binaural means 2 ears. Essentially, I'm going to put one frequency in your left ear and one in your right. Your brain will find the difference. There's 2 different frequencies. Your brain will get pissed off and find the difference. When it finds the difference, it will access that particular frequency. For example, theta is 4 to 7 hertz to access theta. I put 210 in this ear and 214 in this ear. Your brain will find the 4 hertz difference. When it does that, you're in theta. And if you listen to some affirmations that actually support your destination, so step 1 is you got to figure out what the heck you want by March 31st, 2026. Then you're going to create affirmations. All this is done with AI. Take you 2 seconds that support that. For example, affirmations are always I am statements, because what you're doing is you're convincing your subconscious that you've already achieved this shit. The name of this game is telling yourself, I've already done it. Time just has to catch up. Because when you tell your brain, I'm already there, I already have the abs and the bank account and the car and the relationship and the impact on my community, I already have it. Then your brain wants nothing more than to make that its reality. That's confirmation bias. Your subconscious will start to find ways to make that fucking true. I hope I didn't lose you on some woo-woo shit. Please go ape shit on your own time and understand quantum physics. When your subconscious starts to believe the narrative that you finally put in there to support your targets, shit will start to happen the end. So step 1, you need to get some clear targets. Step 2, don't scan this barcode. I use this from stage as a lead magnet. That just takes you to my Instagram. I will drop the link you need right now. I'm gonna actually go through it first, and then I'll drop the link. So I don't want you guys to go and mess with it and not be present. So we've got 4 or 5 minutes. I'm gonna walk you through this. This is the tool. It's called Theta Talk Track. We did a version of this up in Idaho, but it was still very manual then, and you had to do a lot of work yourself, which is probably why most guys don't do it, because that's called friction, right? Work between me and the thing I want. If there's too much work, I'm fucking out. So I made it really fucking simple for you. So I'm going to give you this site. Obviously, you can just read it, but I'm just going to drop the link for you. Costs you nothing. There is a section where you have to put in your phone number or some shit, because it is a lead magnet. I have nothing to sell you. I'm not going to bug you. I just haven't updated this. I actually charge for this now. So I'm giving you my free version, but there is a part where it says to put in your info. Put in fake shit for all I care. I really don't care. Just so we're clear. Anyway, 4 easy steps. Set your targets. It's going to create affirmations around those targets. You're going to approve those, right? So let's just do this real quick. By the way, if you don't have Whisper Flow, you're fucking weird. That's another thing we're going to talk about next week. Let's see. What do I want to do? Let's go through this real fast. 5 minutes. Ready? Complete 75 Bible study sessions and deepen my spiritual practice. Boom. Execute 12 date nights with the wife and check on my kids weekly. We're all the way in college. Get under 210 pounds and run a sub 7-minute mile. Finance. Add 5 new clients to the profit table and secure $300,000 in funding for the ranch. Boom. So I just created my targets, right? Now you're gonna have to go on your own and create smart targets and come back in here, or you can just mess with it and say weird shit. But the more clear you are on your targets, the better your affirmations will be. So now we're going to generate affirmations, and I get to choose. I want empowering, gentle, analytical, spiritual. Pick one, right?
Yeah, like a Zoom thing. But there's like 85 people on there.
Someone's
How's the body feeling?
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. So it basically is going to create 24 affirmations. It does 6 per target that you give it, right? So faith, family, fitness, and finance. This is the part where you can do this in 2 minutes, or you can take a lot of time and take it serious. Up to you. You can go through and approve all these. You want to make sure that it's something you would actually listen to the way it talks, right? So I give you a couple different AI voices to use, but I also give you the opportunity to edit the affirmation or just approve it. And oh, by the way, again, approve all. So I'm just going to approve all. You can fly through this and try it out. So I like all these affirmations. These are great. I go down here and I continue to the voice studio. Do I want a male or female voice? I used to have a bunch of options on here like Matthew McConaughey and shit, but it started messing my stuff up. For those of you nerds out there, I'm pushing an API out to 11 labs. I'm creating them, then I'm pushing it back into my site. It's going to generate a voice version of the affirmations that support my destination. This is all happening live in real time. It will be done in the next 2 minutes, then we'll get you out of here. Cool. So here it is. That's just the affirmations. I'll play a second.
I am fully committed to completing 75 Bible study sessions with Joy.
You can download just that if you're a weirdo, but the trick is you're going to overlay the affirmations into a track that I've built that's going to drop you with using binaural beats into theta. So I've developed a track that takes you from theta into alpha down to theta, leaves you in theta for 20 minutes, and then kicks you back out. And while you're in theta, we're going to loop this minute and 46 of affirmations over and over and over. So if you're just willing to sit down for 21 minutes a day and drop in, and these affirmations start to support all of your targets as specific as you want to be, shit will start to happen for you. So now I'm going to go to the final step. Go to my binaural composer, compose my final track. It kind of tells you how we break it down, just so you can stare at something while it does it. By the way, I need to stress this. This has to be done from a desktop because it's a 21-minute audio file and it's too large for a cell phone browser. So you could do all this on a cell phone. At the very end, it'll say file's too large. Once you have it on your mobile, obviously you can just push it over to your cell phone a million different ways. It's actually not a huge file, but for some reason on cell phones, the 21 minutes. So it gives you a 2-minute preview. And then if you put your name in, again, look, I'll show you 5. Put in shit. I don't need your data. And click agree. It unlocks a 21-minute. You press download, and I now have right here a 21-minute, completely custom, my affirmations that support my targets. Drop me in theta. I put that bitch in. Here's the caveat: have to have headphones. Here's how you know it's a legit binaural beat and how you can spot the fakos on YouTube. A binaural beat, when you don't have headphones in, you just listen to it on a speaker, will wobble because your brain can't figure. It's 2 different frequencies. It'll have a slight wobble. Then once you put it in the headphones, the wobble goes away instantly. That's a legit binaural beat. So just something to think about. So this is my baby. I give this away from stage. I now charge for it as a we call it a tripwire, but it's a lead magnet with a small cost. Let me go back to the beginning, give it to you guys. Here's the chat. Let me stop sharing real quick because I'm horrible at trying to work all these buttons, even though I live in Zoom. I don't think we need the word dashboard on it. All right, someone just check that, make sure it takes you there. Don't go through it all because we got to bounce. I'm already 7 minutes over, but I want to get you this tool. Someone just click that link and make sure it takes. Oh, I got a thumbs up. It's on you. All right, so we got a couple more series we're going to do. We got a couple more sessions we're going to do. This is a very powerful start. I want you to just understand this concept of reprogramming the man, right, or woman, and that's how you build the big shit. But you have to start at a subconscious level. You have to start at working on self. So set some targets across faith, family, fitness, and finance. The clearer the targets, the more fun you'll have with this. Go through the affirmations. Make sure there's something you would actually listen to. Play with the tool. You can use it as many times. There's no whatever. It's just a website right now. So go ape shit with it, but actually use it. The only other caveat besides headphones is don't do it while you're at the gym. I know there's a lot of gym heads on here. You can't have your heart rate through the roof. It's trying to drop you down and slow you down a little bit when it puts you in theta. So you can just be sitting at work and drop in. You can sit on your couch and drop in. You can do it at night or in the morning. The time doesn't matter, but don't try to be on the treadmill or bench pressing and listening to your theta track. It just won't be effective. Questions, comments, concerns, cuss words. Jonah, what do you need from me?
This was phenomenal, brother. This was phenomenal. So I'm gonna download this and I'm gonna be utilizing this on a daily basis. This is a lot of value dropped on this call. So thank you, Nick.
Do we have 2 seconds? Does anyone has a question? I know we're over, right? So it's your call. I just want to make sure,
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions they don't understand, it's too woo-woo, I totally get it. Like, just please trust the process, give it a shot. But this is my life. My life's work, and I promise you it works.
Recommend like 21 minutes start the day doing that?
Yeah, so yeah, you can do it at the beginning of the day. If anyone see my social media, I had a post do pretty well where I show you how to run in the shower real quick, and you actually are in theta if you walk straight to the shower and the warm water hits your prefrontal cortex, yada yada. So there is a bit of science to doing it in the morning, but you don't have to because, yeah, trust me, you just need to try to be either in a quiet place or seated and just kind of take a couple deep breaths and then drop in. That's the only caveat. Just try to slow down a little bit. There's parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. I won't go into the details, but yeah, just drop in. Any time of day works though. Just not while Jonah's fucking lifting the gym. I'll be that guy. Thank you for the question though. Anybody else have anything? I know it's a lot of data. I'm trying to give you a whole lot in 3 calls. Might have to do a 4th call. We'll figure it out. Cool. All right, I think we're good. Jonah, anything else for me today?
That's it. To close it out, you guys, we're at the obviously the last month of the year. We're in December. So I want everybody to really reflect this week. Think about what are your goals coming into January? What are your goals? Momentum can you be your best friend or your biggest hindrance? So let's push hard for the last month of the year, earn that time with your family, but also sit down and take the time to this time of the year. I always reflect and I think on what do I want to accomplish coming into Q1 of this year and what do I want to accomplish in 2026. So take this week, reflect on your goals, and let's make it a week. Reach out if you guys need anything. God bless.